Facing employment termination as an H1b visa holder can be insanely stressful. You may feel you're out of luck and may feel defeated. However, I assure you there are more options available to you than you think. Why am I so confident? Because I've been there and done that. The US had the Great Recession from 2007 to 2009. Nearly 9 million American jobs were lost, and the US unemployment rate peaked at 10% in October 2009. Like what's happening now, tens of thousands of H1b workers were laid off then. I was one among them. In fact, I had my H1b visa transfer request denied twice and came within 24 hours of leaving the US forever. However, I didn't give up. I turned every stone and explored every opportunity. My efforts paid off. I went on to get my H1b and green card and became a US citizen a few years ago. I started greencardEZ to help hardworking immigrants who want to do the right thing and pursue their American dream. Today, I'm sharing all the options I explored and some additional ones unavailable back then due to different rules. If you're someone who has been affected by the tech layoffs or have friends and family involved, please take a moment to interact with this post to increase visibility. To begin with, let's address the most obvious question. Does a terminated H1b worker need to leave the US immediately? Luckily, the answer to that is a no. USCIS officially provides a 60-day grace period and grants many options to H1b workers. Let's review options available to laid off H1b workers to successfully remain in the US and rejoin the workforce. Option number 1. Negotiate with your current company to add your paid time off days and severance package to your proposed termination date to create a new one. This can be an excellent opportunity to extend your stay in the US and maintain your status. For example, suppose your last working date is April 1st with 10 accrued paid time off days, and your employer gives you 4 weeks of severance. In that case, your new last working day is May 13th, which provides you with 6 extra weeks to secure your next opportunity. If you have a good relationship with your employer, they will likely work with you. At the end of the day, give this a try. Even if you feel you don't have a great relationship, you have nothing to lose if they deny your request. We highly recommend doing this. Option number 2. Suppose you're an existing contractor who's been given advance notice of job termination. In that case, your employer could negotiate the billing rate to extend the life of your contract. Your employer may be able to negotiate a new contract, subject to LCA rules, to extend your employment. It could save your job or push out your last working day. As an example, if your employer gives you an 8-week notice, you may be able to work for 10 weeks instead. This scenario doesn't put any extra money in your pocket, but buys you 2 additional weeks of employment. Time is your biggest win here. You can use the extra time to line up another job. By the way, visit our discussion boards at greencardEZ.com/discussions to connect with others on related topics. Option number 3. If your spouse has a valid US visa, you can be their dependent. This can be an excellent option for those with a spouse who can sponsor them for a dependent visa. For example, if your spouse holds an H1b visa also, you can apply for an H4 visa. Similarly, if your spouse has an F1 visa, you can apply for an F2 visa. While your ability to work may vary based on the visas, the most significant advantage is that you don't accrue out-of-status days in the United States. You can continue your job search, and as soon as you land one with an H1b sponsoring employer, you can rejoin the workforce. Option number 4. Look for jobs with companies with a track record of sponsoring H1b workers. As many of you may already know, not all companies do that. It will behoove you to focus on those willing to sponsor your H1b visa. We've compiled a list of employers who have hired H1b workers in the past. Visit greencardEZ.com/work to check it out. It is an evolving list, and we continue adding valuable information such as whether they're hiring and links to their career sites. Option number 5. Work with staffing or placement firms. While credible staffing firms can be a great option in regular times, they can be particularly beneficial when time is of the essence. Many sponsor H1b visas or have sister companies that do. We must caution you though. Plenty of shady companies will try to take advantage of H1b workers in desperate times. Be sure to vet for the legitimate ones. The genuine ones work directly with the companies where you will be working. If a firm asks you to pay for your H1b application or proposes deducting the cost from your paychecks over time, walk away. These companies typically act as subcontractors for larger firms. To process your visa transfer application, USCIS asks for a work contract. They prefer firms that have a direct contract with the end client. When the subcontracting firms cannot provide the document, USCIS denies the H1b transfer. Option number 6. Change your status to F1 visa. Consider enrolling as a full-time student and moving to an F1 visa to maintain status. This can be a fantastic opportunity for those interested in continuing their education. There are a couple of key advantages to this approach. You can maintain your lawful status and further your education. When you line up a job in the future, you can switch back to H1b status and finish your education. Once you return to H1b, you don't need to maintain a full-time student enrollment status. Depending on your best interests, you can take fewer credits each semester or abandon your studies entirely. We recommend you earn your degree though. In the long run, it'll pay for itself. This option may not be available year-round as it's driven by the admission cycle. Also, it will cost you money, but we encourage you to consider it as an investment. And finally, option number 7. Change your status to B2 visa. Suppose you cannot take advantage of any options listed so far. In that case, consider changing your status to B2 visa. A B2 visa, commonly referred to as a visitor visa, is a non-immigrant visa issued by the US government to individuals who wish to enter the country for tourism or medical treatment. B2 visa holders are typically allowed to stay in the US for up to 6 months. However, the actual period of stay may vary. This option is more complicated than the rest, yet a viable last resort option. Remember, it is essential to consult with an immigration attorney and understand specific laws and regulations that apply to your situation. With proper guidance, you can take advantage of your options and secure your future in the US. Those are the 7 options we recommend. Despite trying them all, you may not be able to stay in the US. However, that's not the end of the road. You don't have to give up on your American dream. There is still hope if you are in an unfortunate situation where you must depart the US. You can reclaim unused time from the initial 6 years of your H1b visa without being subjected to the H1b lottery. For example, if you've worked for 2 years and left the US, you can return to the US and work for the remaining 4 years without being subjected to the H1b lottery. Employers may file an H1b petition for former H1b holders outside the US. Your skills and experience will remain desirable. The US economy will recover, and H1b jobs will return. We encourage you to stay positive through these tough times and not give up hope. A positive attitude can make the difference between success and failure. Follow us on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook, and visit our website for updates. My name is Gaurav Musle, and from all of us at greencardEZ, thanks for watching.